Hi everyone, welcome to my channel Tech with Jagmeet. I am Jagmeet Kaur. In the last video, we talked about what is content modeling with the help of Lego bricks. In this video, we'll talk about how to add the page and header and footer in Optimizely CMS. So let's get started. First, I'll create a new content type in Optimizely called YTHomePage. Then I'll build a GraphQL fragment and a React component for it in my Next.js frontend. Then I will map that component to the YT homepage content type so it renders the right data. After that, I'll use this setup to create the homepage for the new website in Optimizely. Since the page doesn't have the header or footer yet, I'll create a new static header and footer components. And finally, I'll add them to the page to complete the layout. We are taking the same page one for the further operations like creating the content types page, etc. So we already discussed content modeling on the same page in the previous video. If you haven't checked it, please do check it. Now we will be creating a content type of type page. In that page, we will be creating a property called content area with the name main. So I will be naming all the content types and the properties like prefacing with YT for my convenience because I already have content types present in my CMS. First of all, let's go to settings. Under the settings, we have content types here. So under the content types, you can see all the content types that already exist in your CMS. And by going on the right side, you can see a drop down which says create new. By clicking on it, you can see different content types. So we have a page type, blog type, media type, and experience type. So page type is something, it's kind of a template that can hold all the components or structure of the page. It can have its own URL. Block type, it's basically used for specific components, like it can be used for home page, carousel, or any other component, but it cannot have its own URL like page type has it. Then we have media type. This is specifically used for image, video, or the documents. And the last but not the least, we have experience type. Experience type is similar to the page type. So it can also hold the whole content or the structure of the page and can have its own URL. But the only difference between the page type and the experience type is that so experience type is editable in the visual builder, whereas page type cannot. Let's get started to create the page. So click on the page type, then name it as a YT homepage. You can put a display name or you can just leave it blank, and similar goes for description. These are optional fields. Then click on create. After create, you will be able to several things here like the properties, the details about the content type, its GUID, base, whether it's coming from the code or we have just created. So the code from code is no here. When it is created by whom, what are the default values that we can set. Child content types. Child content type means which type of content types can be allowed to be created under um, this node. And then we have permissions, settings. You see we haven't added any display name, so it automatically pick the display name from the actual name. Okay, let's first create a title. Okay, I'm adding a text field which can create the title. Uh, let's name it YT title. So I just named it the YT title. The type of the type is text. And what type of text? There in the text also there are subcategories like long string, string, XHTML. So I'm choosing as string. Then what can be the maximum length? You can manage the lengths here, or add validations like regular expressions here. Whether the value must be entered, you can make this field as required. You want the unique value per language or not, you can select or deselect. Then is it a list or just one title? If it is a list, you can select this one. So there are many options that are available here, like flexibilities for the field, user experience, then display name, help text, and others. The property group, this property group defines in which group this property will lie. So we are keeping it content, so and saving it. So after save, you can see this lies in the property group content because we have selected it here. If you have your own, you can create your own property group and then link it here. Okay. The first one that we have created is YT title. The next one, as we talked earlier, we will create a content area where we can add the other block or the content types. New property is YT main, type content, and what's the subcategory? It's selected from content area item, a single item, content reference, that means links or anything. So we are going to add multiple blocks inside of it. So we will select content area. Then there are other options that what type of content types will be allowed, what content types you want to restrict, you can just add it here. Then value must be entered with, this makes it a required field. Unique value, so you can have unique values in the different language versions of the item. Minimum number of items, maximum. So I'm very impressed with the set of options that each content type is having. There are so many flexibilities. You can create the variations of the content type. Save. So now, as you have seen, just within seconds, we have created a content type named YT homepage, which is of type page. And then inside of it, we have added two properties. One property is title and other one is me. Once any content type is created or the content is created, you can just go to the CMS. We have a Optimizely graph. So you can check your content type of the item in here. Go to the Explorer. Let's find our content type that we have just created. Yeah, it lies here, YT homepage. And if we scroll down, so it has the items, the type, the fields that we have created, and then just run it. You can see currently it doesn't have any data, so it's returning null. So I have this Next.js app on my local. So in order to install your Optimizely and the Next.js, everything on your local, you can just check my another video. So we have apps. Then in the inside of the front end, I have all the content that I require for the app. Inside SRC, you will find the components app where you can see the layout and etc. If you have already worked with Next.js, so you must be already well aware about these terms that I'm speaking about. So let's go to the components. Inside the components, we have different folders for different content types. Like we have page content type, experience. Inside of the components, you can create your own blocks. So as we have just created the content type page, so we'll go into the page folder. And I already created this one. So we just create a new folder, say YT homepage. So just create with the same name as that of the uh, content type in Optimizely. So then create a fragment. So this fragment will help us to fetch the content from the Optimizely fields. So we have created two fields inside of Optimizely, YT title and YT main. So YT title is a string type, so you do not need to explicitly mention the what type of value is this. So but YT main, this is a content area in which we will be adding other blocks. So we can mention that this can have the list of blocks or mention dot block data. Okay, so this way I have just defined a fragment. Once you have defined the fragment, you need to run Let's first go to the location where our app is present. Okay. Once we have the fragment created, just run this statement yarn GraphQL code. This will generate all the GraphQL required schemas inside of the code. Scroll up, this lies outside of the SRC folder. We have this GQL folder. So if you open this, you will see that all these files are modified. Okay, so these are all the schemas related to GraphQL to fetch the content. So all the year these schemas will be updated with the these values. You can just search it here and you will be able to find. Okay, say let me do it for you. So if you search this keyword, you will see here that how it is the functions are created for your YTHomePage to fetch the content. So basically you just have to run this command. This will do all the tasks for you. So we can fetch the values from the content types using the GraphQL fragment. Now we need to take these values and display on the page. Let's move to the index.txt. So inside of this page, we have to create a file named index.txt, which is a TypeScript file using TypeScript. So what you have to do is import the required libraries that are used for the Optimizely, and then you have to import the fragment that we have just created, and they are mapped to or present in the GraphQL folder that I just showed to you. Okay, then we can create a simple component that we create in Next.js. So this is, I think you are familiar with this one. So here I have added a content area placeholder where you can add your content area. The next one we can add the title, because in the fragment we are also, or we have created a field called the title, and we are getting this value in the fragment. So we can just mention it here. Let's write first page here. We have created this YTHomePage folder. Inside of this folder, we have GraphQL fragment. That's how we are fetching the data or the values from the Optimizely. And then we have created this TSX file where we are displaying it on the front end. So once these two files are created, the work is not done yet. So we have to map our Optimizely content type to this folder. For that, what we need to do is go to the index.ts, create a key value pair here, say type. What's the type of it? It's YT homepage component YT homepage. Okay. So this is how we can add it in the index file, where this is a page factory. So in the the class name is page factory. So we have component type libraries in that. This lies inside of the library, which is from the Optimizely CMS React. So you can find all the definitions of this here. In dictionary, we are just adding the mapping of our this created folder with the content type, page content type that we had created in the Optimizely. We are done with the content type page configuration inside of the Next.js app. Let's go back to our Optimizely CMS. Let's go to the edit view. Inside of the edit, let's create a new site under the root with the page that we have just created. Let's name it YT Home. So it's here. So we have YT homepage, select it, then create. So as you can see, you are able to see the fields here, YT title, YT main, where you can add other blocks here. But inside of the preview, you are not able to see anything. because our local is not connected to it. In order to connect your local, let's go to the settings and then applications and then create app, say YT home. We already created one page, so we're just going to use that one. That is YT home, create application. So now our application is created with the API ID and the name, but the URL field is empty. So let's go to the edit and we need to set up the host name here. But before we set up the host name, we need to run the application on our local. Run yarn dev. So now our app just got started running at HTTP localhost 3000. Just copy this URL, this 3000, and go back to the Optimizely, add host name, add localhost 3000 that is running on HTTP. So just unselect this one. You can add the language, whatever language you want the site in, or you can just select all, add. So we have just configured a host name for our YT home. Go back to applications. Now you can see the URL here. Okay. Let's go back to the edit view and reload our page. So our page is ready with the text first page, because in the VS Code, when we were adding the title, we have added first name in the index file. If you see here, so we have added in the h1 tag first name. So it started appearing here. And then we have a main content area here, where we can add, if you add some block here, that will appear inside this. Now our next step is to add the header and footer to the page. So let's go to the page one, the sample page that we were having. We'll copy the whole HTML from this page. So this is the whole header. Just let's copy it from here. Copy the element, okay. So let's go to our VS Code. So basically it's a best practice to add the header footer on the layout instead of on the particular pages. So this is a home page template or the content type. You should not be adding it here. You should go to the layouts. So our layouts lies in the app. Okay, so you will find this layout.tsx file. So the whole page is coming from here. So we have HTML tag, we have head here, then theme provider here, then the body tag, and all these things are present here. Okay. So in order to create the header and footer, let's create a folder inside of it with the name shared. Let's name it lowercase. Okay. Shared. Inside of share, let's add a file, say header, header, header.tsx. So inside of Next.js or React, we don't write a class, we write class name. So just a Cool. So we have our header ready. Now let's create a footer. So for now, we are just adding a static HTML to it. But in the next videos, we'll talk about how to create the specific components using blocks. So we'll copy this whole content. Same goes here. Now let's go to our layout inside of the body and wrapping this main inside of it. Just add a header, YT header here and YT footer after the main. Cool. Let's go back and reload our page. So we can see my brand and the links like they're present here, like my brand and the links. And then we can see the footer here, but it's not visible because we need to include the CSS also. Let's make the title editable. Let's go to the page. And here we were having h1 tag. I just added this class and instead of first name, just add data dot yt title because that's the name of the parameter we defined in the fragment. Okay, just go back into the Optimizely. We add it into here. Save it. You can see that the title is started coming here, FH. You can give it a fancy name like the new page YT. It get automatically saved. So you have new page YT home. Okay. So footer is also coming, but because of the CSS, we need to add the CSS, etc. to this, so the everything will be started appearing. So for styles, what I have done, just go to the page, inspect, and inspect the design. Say this my brand, it is coming in red, but in ours page it's not. So just look at these classes and see from where these are coming. These are coming from styles. So styles lies in this. So all the CSS lies here. You can just copy this CSS. And I just went here. I created a folder named styles and added all the copied CSS here. Okay. And then in the layout, I imported that CSS. Okay, the CSS started coming, and if I open the page associated with this one, here also header and footer with the CSS started coming.